Hi guys, my name is Yousef. You probably know me as Heal from Reddit. I got a lot of messages yesterday from people after responding to a post that I saw on self-improvement. It's actually my first time posting on Reddit, so completely new experience to me. I was kind of only expecting at most to get a response from the main poster himself, but I got many messages. Um, I don't actually have the time to answer each one of them individually. I will try, but I only really have about an hour to assign to answering Reddit messages a day, or to be helping out Reddit a day at the moment, because this is not my full-time thing. I would love for it to become my full-time thing though. I've kind of built up a lot of knowledge over the years. I am an aspiring coach, so I basically help coach people through these stages so that they can find freedom. And if you are interested in basically having me help you through these stages personally, basically by doing weekly check-in calls to see how you're doing, techniques and stuff that you can implement to make the process a bit easier, to make it a bit more comfortable and more achievable, we can do that. So please get in contact with me. But I will also be providing as much free content as I can as well. So basically, I will try to do some posts on the self-improvement forum each day if I can. I will try my best. And I'll also be doing some of these videos as well. Cool, so let's get started. I did receive a lot of messages, but they were pretty much all saying the same thing, which was, what are the steps? And that was in relation to my response to someone who was talking about basically not feeling motivated to do something that he knows is actually probably of benefit to him. So let's kind of go into that now. So firstly, first step that we need to do is we need to stop. We need to take a break from all of this attention grabbing that's going on in our modern life, right? Everything's trying to grab your attention. Your phone's trying to grab your attention when it rings. Your TV's trying to grab your attention with that new TV show that's going on. Your whatever it is, they're trying to pull you in all these different directions, right? Now, no wonder you feel confused. No wonder you feel a bit lost. No wonder you feel drained of energy. In the same way a parent would be drained if they were getting dragged all sorts of directions, etc., etc., etc. There's no wonder you're feeling like this. It's not strange for you to be feeling like this. It's strange that something like this is allowed within our society, but hey, that's the way it is. We're going to break out of that. Yeah. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to stop. We need to take a moment for ourselves. Yeah. So switch off your phone, whatever it is. Switch off your phone. I was thinking, if you're watching this, don't switch off your phone, but you get the idea. Basically, get rid of all the other distractions and just focus on this for now. Yeah. Cool. Now, the next thing that we need to do is we need to choose. Yeah, we need to choose. We're going to empower ourselves. We're going to choose 3 things that we would like to achieve a year from today. Okay, and we're going to write them down in present tense. I'm only going to put down 1 because I want to keep this video quite concise, because otherwise it can get quite lengthy. But I would like you to use the same technique for 3 separate things that you'd like to achieve within the year. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, like I said, the next step is choose. Now, you might want to pause here, have a little bit of a think about it. There's no rush. You might think of 2 things now, another thing in a few days. You might think of 1 thing now, another thing in a few days. You might think of nothing now, and things might pop up to you in the next few days. But 3 things that you would genuinely be really happy to have achieved a year from now. Okay, I'm going to put up a little example just so that it can be used for the purpose of this video, and I'm going to put the example of smoking, to stop smoking. I no longer smoke. Okay, so that's one of my goals. Okay, so that's one of the this is an example for you. You're going to be writing down 3, remember, but this is for example purposes using in this video. Cool. So We've chosen our 3 things now, okay, whatever those 3 things are. These three things are really important, okay? So don't worry about how realistic they are or how non-realistic they are, okay? I just want you to pick these 3 things, because what these 3 things are going to do is they're going to be able to build up resistance against these distractions, okay? And they're also going to they're going to build actually wells of self-love, self-worth within you as you start to make your steps towards them. Yeah? Okay, cool. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to build a map. Okay, cool. So what I suggest you do, if you're part of the self-improvement movement, that sounds quite nice actually, self-improvement movement, having a journal is just like one of the things that will change your life. It's amazing. But anyway, you don't need a journal right now. If you just have a piece of paper, that's cool too. But what you are going to do on that piece of paper or in that journal, you're going to do some drawings. Remember, I've only put 1 here. You're going to do 3, but you'll do them one by one by one. Okay? So 1 at a time. So at the top of the piece of paper, I would like you to put in what goal you will have achieved a year from now. In this example, I no longer smoke. Yep. Cool. And then at the bottom of the paper, you're going to put now. Right? So this is a map though, right? Right now it's just 2 boxes. Now in an ideal world, you could go from now to this point and it will be easy. Yeah. But if it were easy, you wouldn't be here. So this is why we're doing this map now, because what we're going to do is we're going to ask ourselves, what are the potential things that may lead to being a detour or may lead us off path from reaching our target? Okay, so again, I'm just going to throw out examples here. Hanging out with friends. Maybe playing games. Maybe, I'm just going to put something else. Now, there's nothing wrong with these things, okay, if they're done in moderation. But if they're not, it's very easy to be caught up in loops. Okay, and when we get caught up in these loops, this is what tends to happen. This is a lot of the messages I was getting. It wasn't just asking for the steps, it was also describing how the person was feeling. I'm feeling confused, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling low. A lot of the time, the reason why is because one of 2 reasons. Either there is not a clear goal in your mind, so you're getting caught up in these distractions and they become the main thing, or you did have a clear idea in your mind, but then you went down a detour and then you got lost in that detour and you forgot about the main goal, right? So a lot of self-worth, a lot of kind of self-esteem comes from going after the things that we want and the universe rewarding us for that. Okay, so this is pretty much all I want you to do for now, but I want you to do this specific thing for each of your goals. There may be different potential distractions for each one of those goals. Please write them down. Okay, I want you to map them out. Okay, what's going to happen? You might ask me now, okay, well, Yousef, or Heel, I'm here. How do I get to here? I understand these things are in the way, but how do I get to here? How you get there is basically each day you're taking 1 step closer towards that goal. Okay, so you're doing something that's allowing you to get closer to that goal. Yeah, maybe you are reading about certain topics related to this goal. Maybe you are going to certain groups, being involved with certain groups that are related to this goal. You are taking positive action towards making this a reality. Okay, so whatever those 3 things are, please create a map for each one of those things. And also, as part of this map, also map down the potential detours that may come up. Okay, this is very important. Okay, because we want to have it as clear as possible. This is why having a journal is really important. Not essential, but important, because then you'll be able to just keep everything kind of together. Cool. So next thing, you're going to assign. Just writing down what your goal is and where you are is not enough. Okay. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to assign certain images to firstly your goal, and then secondly the potential distractors. Okay. Now, what tends to happen is that, especially in this day and age, many of us are into instant gratification. We love that fix, that quick fix. The problem is it doesn't nourish us, right? The other problem is the things that do nourish us aren't really that kind of tempting in a lot of ways. Now, the trick, the deception that happens here is that the things that aren't good for us, they know that they're not good for us, so they have to come across more attractive to kind of deceive us into doing them. But you can only be deceived for so long. You can feel like the poisonous effect of doing things that really aren't good for you, right? The problem is with some things, they are good for you, but then they don't feel that fun to do sometimes, right? What we're going to do is we're going to assign certain images to things that we know are good for us, that we need to do, or that we would like to do, but that might not necessarily fill us with bounding joy just by in the same way as doing something fun that's not actually good for us might be. And we need to then assign certain images in our mind to those activities that are likely to not only take us off track, but send us spiraling. Okay, so in this example here, let me just give you my example. I personally am really into training. I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I love training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and but I got caught up in certain habits, and the habit that I got caught up in was smoking cigarettes. Now, you may think, well, what's the problem? You're not trying to be professional or anything. No, but I would like to be the best that I can be. So that means I needed to try to get this habit out of my system. Yeah. So what did I do? I assigned a certain image in my head that made me feel it was. I'll explain this image to you. It was someone in my mind who I never wanted to become. Yeah. And then I basically assigned this image to the act of smoking that cigarette. So the act of smoking that cigarette in my mind, if you looked at it like a map, took me one step closer to being like that person. And then what I also did is I assigned an image in my mind connected to this of no longer smoking to not smoking it. So then when I wouldn't smoke a cigarette, then I felt like I moved one step closer to becoming the person who I did want to become as an athlete. Yeah. So it's not just about willpower anymore. If we just use willpower, we can be overburdened sometimes. But if we can use our imagination to magnetize us towards things that we should be doing that are beneficial to us, that we might not feel at that very moment in time like doing, and we'll get rewarded for it for sure, this is why we need to start using these hacks. Okay, so in terms of assign, what we're doing here, we're assigning images in our mind that detract us, that kind of stop us from wanting to do the things that are going to cause us harm. And we start assigning images in our mind that we want to become like, that we want to achieve, that we want to do, to the things that a year from now will be our reality. Okay, and we're going to use the magnetism of those images to attract us to some things that we need to do, that we want to do, that we want to become, and to push us away or to repel us from things that we don't want in our lives. Yeah. Okay, cool. Nice. Now, next thing, willpower. Like I just mentioned, willpower alone. You may have tried many things in your life and it didn't work out. And then you said to yourself, oh, I'm just not good enough, whatever it is. And someone might say, oh, he doesn't have the will to do it, whatever it is. We're not concerned with that kind of language. What we need to realize is that if we have an image in our mind that is strong enough, so back to that pleasure pain principle, if we can assign more pain to things that we don't want to do that can cause us harm, and more pleasure to the things that we do want to do that will definitely make our lives better, that will turn us into closer versions of our optimal state, then we're on that road, that path of improvement. Yeah. Next thing here, image streaming. So image streaming is a technique that basically allows you to make the images in your mind, your imagination, clearer. Okay, so I'm going to let you do a little bit of research into that. There's a couple of videos on YouTube, so have a little look. And basically the premise is you spend some time with your eyes closed and you wait for random images to pop up and you start describing them, the sound, the smell, all these sorts of different things. And then naturally your imagination just becomes clearer and clearer and clearer and more vivid. And the reason why this is powerful is because when you are in certain states, so let's say for example, you're hanging out with some friends, your friends are smoking. Now as a smoker, if you're hanging out with friends and they're smoking, you're gonna really want to smoke, right? If you are unable to build up a clear image in your head that is connected to this goal, then you're working off willpower, and willpower will fail on you sometimes. However, if you are able to create as vivid an image as possible about this goal, you are far more likely not to smoke, and you will feel amazing when you don't smoke. Okay, because you will feel like you've taken one step closer to becoming the person that you want to become, and one step further away from the person that you don't want to become. Cool. And lastly, someone else mentioned this in that post. And it was a really good comment, and it's something that slipped my mind at the time, but it's super important. Like it's definitely one of the things that's part of these steps, and it's baby steps. Yeah, take little action, but every day, and naturally it will build up. Okay. One of the things that's so important in this is faith. Okay, faith in the process, faith that you can achieve this, but you're going to have to take little bits of action each day, and naturally momentum will build up, and some days you'll feel like doing more, some days you might feel like doing less, but each day you will be doing something towards that goal. And then you will just find yourself feeling better, feeling revitalized. You will have built up 3 different wells of self-love, of self-worth, of self-acceptance, because you're going after what you genuinely want in life. And now you have a tool that will override the willpower. And that tool is using your imagination to link positive images of things that you want in your life, and allowing those images to magnetize you towards this goal, away from these distractions when they get dangerous. Yeah. And also, as you're going up towards this goal, these images, once you start seeing, for example, playing games, what's happened with me anyway is I just don't have interest in a lot of these things anymore. Especially, it doesn't mean I don't have interest in hanging out with friends or playing games. I have much less interest playing games now anyway. But it's pretty much down to the fact that I'm now realizing those visions that I had, those things that I've always wanted. And I think for a lot of us, we have ideas of what we want, but we haven't really gone after them. And if we have, we felt quite disheartened when things didn't quite go to plan. What we need to do is we need to have faith in the process. Not every day is going to feel like a step forward, but we're going to take a step forward every day regardless. Cool. It's been a pleasure. My name is Yousef, also known as Heal on Reddit. I'm looking to take on 10 people. So if you want to have me on your journey with you, basically, what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to work together week after week after week after week. We can basically have a call in, see how things are going, and we can make slight adjustments and support from someone who's already been through it. So if you're interested in that, let me know. It's been a pleasure. I will try to keep posting from time to time on Reddit, and I will do videos like this from time to time too. Cool. Peace.